This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. All righty, let's see if we got it now. I think we got it now. Do we have it? Are we good now? I think we got it now. All right. Are we set? Do we have our sound? Now sound is distorted? No. Seriously? Is the sound distorted? Am I sounding distorted? I mean, you gotta help me out here. I gotta be honest with you. I have no idea what I did, even if the sound is working. I have no idea. Okay. All right. So we're back. I guess we're back. I appreciate it. There we go. I think we're ready to go now and move forward. It's a mission. Sometimes that's the beauty of all this stuff here. Let me see what we got. Okay, here we go. I think we got it now. All right, let me see. Let me check all this stuff here. Let me see what we got. Okay, here we go. All right, yes. So maybe what I'll do is I'll turn it down a little bit. There we go, and hopefully that'll be good. All right, there we go. Appreciate it. Thank you all out there. Thank you for the patience. Unfortunately, wow, it's already 11:27 that we finally got on the air and finally ready to do a little bit of a talk show. Hear you, but sounds like you're talking out of a bottle. Really? Is it that bad? And finally ready to do a little bit of a talk show. Hear you, but sounds like you're talking out of a bottle. Okay. Really? Is it that bad? It's not. All right, listen, it's better than not having any sound at all. Okay, so at least we have some sound. So we got that going on. So it's good. All right, appreciate it all out there, as always, for tuning in. Maybe I should actually end the broadcast again and restart it, and maybe everything will fall into place perfectly. What do you think? You think I should do that? No, right? I don't know. Maybe I should just ride out whatever we have right here. Right? Is that what I should do? I don't know. Anyway, so I appreciate all of you out there being patient and dealing with our technical issues here on the show. All right. So anyway, we got a lot of things. Let me see. Okay, there we go. All right. So anyway, I appreciate all of you out there, and thanks to all of you hanging in there. Man of 1,005 holds, Omar Lopez, Ricky Perez, Matt Walker, all of you out there that are chiming back in and getting into the chat board. And don't forget to smash the hell. Now that you're back in, smash the hell out of the like button, please. Those of you that are watching, because we always need that to get this thing spread out and go all over the place. All right. So remember, you can reach out to us. You got any questions, any comments on the YouTube chat board? You got a super chat, as always, to help us out. And what's it called? Weapons X United. Thank you, sir, already for sending in a super chat. It is very appreciated. And also, we have our Twitter page open at Big O Show. So for those of you that want to chime in at Big O Show, you can do that too. It's a beautiful thing. We can answer your questions there also on the tube. All right, appreciate it, all of that. And it says technology can be a headache. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, I really don't even know what I did for it to even work at the moment, because I saw that we were getting levels, and I said, okay, well, now it looks like the sound is back, and so there you go. The sound is back, and hopefully it stays with us here for a little while, and we can get the show going. Anyway, thank you all out there, as always, for tuning in. Got a bunch of things to talk about in the world of sports. Marlins lose last night to the Blue Jays 2-1. And, yesterday I have Wander Franco, who's the kid that they just called up from Tampa Bay, and he hit a 3-run shot. He got another hit after, too. And I started him in everything yesterday. I actually benched one of my guys to start him, and it paid off, obviously, because he hit a home run. and I've had him on my bench because I drafted him. And in our league, he can kind of be a keeper. But, I'm not talking about that crap. Forget about fantasy. It has nothing to do with it. But I'm just kind of setting the scene why I'm talking about Wander Franco. And while that moment's going on, I'm hoping that the Marlins can have moments like that coming up. Because when you get a Sandy Alcantara who goes out there and pitches one hell of a game, and the poor kid, what was it yesterday? 8 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks. He's got a 2.93 ERA, and he's got nothing to show for it because Yimi, unfortunately, ended up giving up the run in the 9th inning, and they end up losing 2-1 in the process. And you just, it's a shame because as the summer now wears on and you get into August and September, these are young arms and they're young players, and you can only get dejected from all of this stuff. And look, I know the Marlins aren't going to be making all kinds of trades. They're not going to be making any kind of, they're 10 games under 500, man. So there's no reason to go out there and give away some of your young talent for some desperation move. Unless you can trade for a young bat that you can re-sign and keep for a long time, then yeah, for sure. But at the moment, it's not worth trading. But the moment I saw with Tampa last night, that's where I kind of turned it around to the Marlins, and I'm saying, man, I hope J.J. Bleday, when he gets called up, that's this guy. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that you've already proven that you can develop some arms, you can draft some arms, and there's no doubt that's what they're doing right now with this team. They're developing a ton of arms. But the one thing that they need to develop is several bats to go along with these arms. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not demanding trades. Realistically, I don't think this is the kind of team you make trades for at this point in time. It's not like they're on the brink or anything like that. So I'm cool with that. But I am hoping that the front office starts to call up some young guys that actually can play at the major league level and can be incredibly productive. It's been fun to watch the development of Jazz Chisholm this year, but you need a lot more to help out these pitchers. And that's the one thing that I came away with, that when I'm watching Sandy's outing and I'm watching what Wander is doing with Tampa Bay, I'm going, man, that's the one connection, that's the one bridge that the Marlins now need. They need a couple of young bats to actually complement some of their young arms that are just doing it out. Look, tonight, isn't it Trevor Rogers tonight, I think? Yeah, it's Trevor Rogers tonight. The kid is 7-3, which he's got a winning record, which is cool, and he's got a 1.87 ERA. And you got to support these guys, man. They're pitching their asses off, and they don't even have Sixto yet to be ready to call up because he's still rehabbing and trying to. I know he had a little bit of a setback and all that, but you think about it. Once you get Sixto in the mix, man, you got a really nasty young staff, and I'm just hoping that the offensive side of the development of the Marlins starts to catch up a little bit because they desperately need it, man. It would be really, really nice if somehow or another they're able to get some bats and develop those. And then you can now make a move or two to kind of finish off your team and make a run for a playoff. Not this year, but I'm saying down the line. But man, that Wander Franco call up, I was like, damn, Marlins need that kind of an injection from their minor leagues. So we'll see tonight, 7-10. For those of you that are still watching the Marlins, I watch them. I'm going to give this ownership group the benefit of the doubt that they deserve. They took over. They didn't create any of the headaches of the past. They have a chance of righting the past and doing things the right way. And so far, the way they're building back up their minors and the young team and all that, I like that. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with the patient part. Okay, I've had to do that enough as a Marlins fan. What my problem is is what are you going to do when the time comes for commitment from the ownership side? And that's the side we haven't seen ever on this team, since Huizinga. And so now we need to see it from them over the next couple of years. But the second stage is that you can't be a team that only develops arms. At one point or another, you got to develop some bats. You know what I mean? That's going to be really, really important to get some of those bats in there. So hopefully tonight, Trevor Rogers has a little bit more luck. And Robbie Reyes pitched actually well for the Blue Jays. So they're not up against an easy matchup there. I mean, listen, with the Marlins bats, there's almost no matchup that's easy for them, to be honest. I mean, it's a team that desperately needs to get their bats going. You know what I'm saying? GP Trap says, Big O, Batman figure on the way. You'll love it. Let you know when it arrives. Oh, you got a Batman figure on the way. I like it. I like it. Yes, very nice. Smash the hell out of that like button, folks. Smash that like button. All right, GP Trap, I'm looking forward to putting a little Batman back there in the collection. All right, good. Big O, from me, it's easier for a team to get a batter than to get a pitcher. Yes, you are correct. But, I mean, they can't just develop pitchers. They got to get some bats in there. They got to develop some. Because remember, Herman, you're not going to be able to buy all the bats. Look, I don't know when Jeter and Sherman start spending, but whenever they start spending, they're not going to spend like the Dodgers. They're not going to spend like the Cubs. You know what I mean? So they're going to be a team that's probably middling when it comes to spending because they don't have the same kind of market. They don't have their own network, those kind of things. And I'm sure they got a sweeter TV deal and all that, but they still don't have the kind of revenues that the Red Sox have coming in, okay, with their stadium, their fan base, and NESN and the TV deals and all that stuff. And the Yankees with the Yes Network and all that kind of, they don't have that kind of stuff. So they can't really compete money-wise with those kind of teams. But if you're going to be middling, then you've got to be exceptional at not recruiting, I was going to say, at drafting and developing. And part of it has to be some bats. You have to develop some bats because you're not going to be able to buy all of them. And they don't have that kind of money. So they've got to definitely get things going in the offensive side of the ball. I understand where you're coming from, but you've got to develop some bats in a big-time way. Charles Cooper says, big fan of Garrett Cooper. There you go. Well, it's a Coop thing. You're in the loop with Coop. John says no Bill. Oh, that's right. I was explaining it with no sound. Yes, no Bill today. Bill is still on the IR. Let's put it that way. He's got some personal issues after the accident that he's taking care of. Physically he's kind of banged up too from the accident. So he's taking care of business right now. Happy home day here in the ROC. What a game, what a finish. Suns with a win. Valley-oop. That was nice last night. Raging Dolphin Maniac is in. There is revenue sharing in baseball. Yeah, but that just because there's revenue sharing in baseball doesn't mean that it's an even level playing field, because you can go over the cap and pay the tax, and some teams can handle paying some taxes. Other teams are not going to be able to pay taxes. The Marlins are a team that are not going to be able to pay the tax. The Dodgers can write the tax off and laugh at it. Absolutely laugh at it. Because they've got a stadium that draws 4 million fans a year. Okay, they draw and they bring in a lot of money. I was doing a roll call in the last one, but I forgot there is no sound. Man of 1,005 holds in. Omar Lopez, Ricky Perez. Let's see, Bones is in. Raging Dolphin Maniac. What else? Troy Ortiz, Herman Cueva, Manuel Malo. Let's see, Akaris 1. GP Trap. EM Dolphin says, I'm ready for that fade, homie. There we go. John Rouse. What else? Charles Cooper, which we mentioned before. Lisa, of course, very happy with her sons. Let's see. Big O, do you like Jesus Sanchez? The kid yes. Yeah, I mean, again, it's just a matter of development with all these guys. Alex Diaz, Big O, happy hump day. Give my blessings to Bill and stay blessed as well. Thank you, sir. Bill will be fine. He'll bounce back, man. We'll get him back and everything will be cool. Daniel Marquez is in. Charles says, can the Marlins draw fans outside of Miami-Dade? Seems like I've been hearing how people don't like driving to the stadium location. What's the truth? Charles, the truth is win and you'll draw. That's all it is. Where the stadium is, the Broward and Palm Beach people are full of shit. Okay? Just like Dade people are full of shit also. In other words, South Florida fans that are complaining about where the stadium is, they're all full of shit. All of them. I don't know if I'm being clear enough. Dade, Broward, Palm Beach residents, they're all full of shit. Are we clear on that? Okay, let me explain. The Heat sell out all the time, and there's plenty of fans coming from Broward and Palm Beach. They're not all coming from Dade. And when there's a concert like that EDM concert that's over by the AAA, it sells out. And there are people coming from all over the world, obviously, but there are people coming from Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. Okay? You got the Grove Arts Festival. People will drive down from Broward and Palm Beach to go to the Grove Arts Festival. My point is, when you make it an event, people drive. The hockey team was sold out in Overtown at the Miami Arena. And then they gave you the bullshit, oh, we got to move the arena up to closer to our fan base because we get more fans from Broward and Palm Beach. And then guess what happened? That arena was half empty for the next 20 years. Do you know why? Because they didn't take the team with them. They left the team in Miami. Now, 20 years later, they got a good team. And guess what's going to happen to the BB&T Center? It's going to get jam-packed over the next couple of years because this team has finally crossed the threshold and they'll be good. Point is, when the Marlins become a really good team that people want to go see, when the Marlins become a team they trust, like the Miami Heat, because everybody trusts the Miami Heat. Okay? I mean, there's so much trust in the Miami Heat, we have developed what they call, what I call, Heat zombies. Okay? Because I'm the only one that calls them Heat zombies. These people have so much trust in the Miami Heat, they think they're going to pick up every free agent, trade for every player possible, and they load up that arena, and they buy everything that the Miami Heat sells, and every new jersey, from multicolored one to a gold one to a red one, a black one, whatever, you name it, they sell everything. You got Crazy Eddie or whatever, selling everything in sight. And there's plenty of fans from Broward and Palm Beach counties. I've never believed that bullshit, okay? Ever believed that bullshit about where the stadium is at. Okay? That part to me is a bunch of crap. So it has nothing. The thing is, people don't trust the Marlins and people don't believe in this team right now. That's all. It's cute. It's a novelty. They got a couple of pitchers that are fun to watch. But there's zero trust in the Marlins in South Florida. The only people that are going are the same hardcore fans that have been going for years, even in the Loria years. Even when Loria is giving it to you without any Vaseline, they're still going. But those are that's a small percentage of fans, and that's not enough for them. When they want to get a crowd, they got to become a real franchise. So once they become a real franchise, that they're winning, that they're committed to winning, and that people are convinced they're committed to winning, that stadium will get packed. So where the stadium is at, you can put it in Homestead, you can put it in Fort Lauderdale, you can put it in West Palm Beach, you can put a stadium wherever you want. If your team sucks, you're not going to draw. If your team is not trusted, you will not draw. But if your team is trusted and your team is good, you're going to draw. Okay? Look at the Dolphins. The Dolphins have been before Grier and Flores. For 20 years, they have been as incompetent as it gets. Yet their attendance is phenomenal. Listen to me. Phenomenal. That if it's not sold out, it's like 97 or 95% or 98%, which over the last 20 years, let's be honest now. Let's be honest. Before Grier and Flores, let's be honest. For the last 20 years, they deserve Marlins attendance. But they spend. So they'll make fans believe, because they'll buy Ndamukong Suh and they'll give Mike Wallace money and they'll find Nick Saban and Bill Parcells and Jimmy Johnson, and they'll do everything and anything possible to win. So fans have always known that the Dolphins are committed to trying to win. Now, for 20 years, after Shula, they had no idea how to win. That's the problem. That's been the issue. But at least the fan base still was going because of what Shula established and because they're trying. The Marlins have not tried for 20 years to win. They've won a couple of times by accident almost. Well, the first one wasn't by accident. The second one was kind of by accident. That Dombrowski left them an amazing amount of talent, and it turned out well. But outside of that, it's not a franchise that's trying to win a championship on a consistent basis. So you've got to earn trust in this talent. That's how it goes. So whenever anybody tells you, yeah, we're not going on the Marlins because it's in Miami, you're full of shit. Because the second they start belting home runs left and right, and pitchers are dominating, and they're winning, people will go there. People will drive from Homestead to the BB&T Center to go see a good hockey team. A shitty hockey team, they're not driving from Homestead to, Sunrise. It's just not going to happen. That's the reality. That's how it's done here in South Florida. Anybody tells you anything different, they're full of shit. I hope I kind of expressed myself the right way in this segment here, telling you exactly what the Marlins are up, or attendance in South Florida, because it's just all lies. If it's not what I told you, it's a lie and you're wrong. So that's pretty simple. What else do we have here on the text line? Sad these pitchers can't get any support. Tommy and Hialeah. Yeah, you're right. Braves heating up. Braves got some talent. They should be a damn good team. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, if you had $5,000 to invest in crypto, what coin would you buy? Cardano. I would put $5,000 in Cardano right now. Yeah. Polygon too. Matic would be another one. I put $5,000 in VeChain. I put $5,000 in Ethereum. I don't think you can lose with any of those. I think all of them are going to explode, and you'll easily double and triple your money in a couple months. So yeah, I would go with any of those. Joe Romano says the Rays have a stadium location issue. The Marlins don't. The Rays have a cheap ass issue. They develop players left and right, and they never keep them. That's their problem. That's why they never get over the hump. Yeah, their stadium is dog crap. I know. I've been to that stadium a whole bunch of times, man. Every year for the East-West Shrine game, that's where they practice. So I go to that stadium all the time. I've been there for a concert. I've been there for baseball. I've been there a ton of times now for football practices. The place is a dump. Okay? A dump. I'm with you. But the Orange Bowl was a dump, and we packed it in. So it's not that. It's the Tampa Bay Rays never end up finishing off the job. Their team is good enough to actually get to a World Series and even maybe win one. But if they actually spent a couple of bucks, can you imagine what the Rays would do? That's the problem with the Rays. They don't spend. They don't keep their stars around. They eventually develop and they leave. They're the Marlins of the of the west coast of Florida. So that's really the Rays' problem. You don't trust the Rays because they don't keep their players. Let's see. I only hit Marlins Park when my boys, the Mets, are in town. Well, right, because you're a Mets fan. Ed Marti says, at work, but tuning in to give you thumbs up. I know you've said it's important to get the thumbs up clicks. It's extremely important to hit the thumbs up, man. Hit that like button. That is so important, man. Got to jump off. I will catch up with the podcast later today. Have a blessed day. How about Ed Marti? He just jumps in to hit the like button and goes out. That's familia, man. That's strong right there. That is family, bro. Appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Let's see what else. I think Danielle Marquez put Heat Cutler, but I think he means Heat Culture. But I got you. Sounds like the insane Finn fan who wants the organization to pick up every free agent. Yes, man of 1,005 votes. Yes, that's exactly it. Is there any team other than the Heat trusted in South Florida? No. Inter Miami has not earned the trust. Florida Panthers, I think, might be the closest right now. Actually, I mean, I trust the Dolphins right now. I do, but most people will not. Okay, I'm different. I've been on board with the Greer Flores thing, with Greer, and then Flores. Obviously, I didn't know anything about Flores, but after this second year, I'm convinced that the guy's the man. But yeah, no, it's only the Heat that has the ultimate trust of everybody in South Florida. Inter, Florida Panthers, Marlins, Dolphins, they have not earned that trust at all. Not yet. Some are getting closer, like the Panthers are getting closer, and I think the Dolphins are working towards that. But no. Canes even haven't earned everybody's trust. I don't think Manny's earned everybody's trust yet. In fact, I would actually put it the reverse. Manny lost my trust. Because I'm wrong about Manny. I thought it was going to be a terrific, transition and perfect guy for the program, and he has not shown me at all that he can be a head coach. So he's got to earn the trust back, actually, because he had it as a defensive coordinator, lost it completely as a head coach from what I've seen the first couple of years. So disappointed. So you're right. Only the Heat. Nobody else has trust in town at all. Let's see. What else do we have here on it? Marlins Park is beautiful stadium, and I'm not a Marlins fan. No, it has nothing to do with the stadium, dude. The people that tell you that it has anything to do with stadium or location, again, they're full of crap. Absolutely loaded with crap. Most of those people telling you their eyes are brown. That's how much crap they're full of. Rene Caravantes, safety man. Do you do the safety dance? Safety dance. Oh, safety dance. Let's go. You're right about the Heat. We're getting Kawhi, CP3, and John Collins next year. LOL. Manuel says that excuse was used by the Braves to move from downtown Atlanta to suburbs. Yeah, you just need the team. Well, but Atlanta fans are different because they've had a good team for many, many years, and they had no reason to have attendance issues. That's different. We will go to a crappy stadium because we proved it with the Orange Bowl. When the Canes are good, you'll go. And when the Canes went into probation, you didn't go. It's the way it is. So, let's see. Marlins should have left town, in my opinion. No, Josh, why? It's not our fault. Why? Because we've had bad ownerships? It's not our fault. It's not our fault that John Henry didn't want to spend like he spent in Boston. It's not our fault that we got stuck with Jeffrey Loria. and that the league rigged it in order that he had to borrow $39 million from the league in order to purchase the Marlins. That's the league's fault that they allowed a poor owner in and made him a billionaire, by the way. Nice job by by the Major League Baseball. They picked the dude and gave him the lottery. So, Big O, I want to buy a Jazz Chisholm jersey, but I'm afraid they will trade him. You see what I'm talking about? And do you blame Devin for saying that? No. He's right. I think a Jazz Chisholm jersey would be absolutely freaking cool to own. That's why I've always said with Marlins, and here you go. Are you ready, Devin? Are you ready? You get the jersey, but you have it made with the name on Velcro. So you have two made. You have Chisholm and you have Jordan for your last name. And then you wear it with Chisholm. If they trade him, put on Jordan. And it's over. That's it. Solved your problem. You're welcome, Devin Jordan. You're welcome. Velcro is the answer to all of your Marlins jersey issues. Let's see. What else? Big O, can you play the Tony Sparano bite? Okay. I don't know if I have that one. Let me see. I don't know if I have that one. Let me see here. Is it this one?
Jail's a jail.
Hey, a jail's a jail. I don't know if I have.
Just send me anyway. It don't matter. There's nothing you can do to me that Castro has not already done.
Yeah. I got a little Scarface for you.
Didn't your father ever teach you to never send a boy to do a man's job?
What's up, dog?
Oh, a little Saban.
I'm pissed.
On the crack.
What's up, dog?
Oh, DBJ.
On the crack.
That's awful.
The reason why Terrell's not happy is simple. It's not a fair contract at this point in time. It needs to be addressed. It hasn't been.
I have no desire to talk to Donovan. That's all speculation. That's all rumors. My character's definitely been an issue.
Always been an issue there, T.O. There you go. I don't have Tony, but I gave you a bunch of other ones. Some pretty good ones there, by the way. I have a bank that is full of, like, Wani.
Not talking about you.
You're 100% right.
Well, thank you, Wani.
You can't win in this league.
You can't win in this league.
Could be a casual correlation.
It could be.
Can't coach in this league.
Can't coach in the league.
I would disagree with you.
I could play Wani sound bites all day.
That's a fact.
Yes, it is. That's a fact. I'm with you. Wani sound bites were so good. Let's see what else. Godfather is going to get that. Mike No Go Zone says, Big O, which will be your first concert that you'll be attending? I can tell you that right now. If I look it up here. Disturbed, July 7th. I will be going to West Palm Beach Amphitheater with my boy Greep, and we're going to see Disturbed, Stained, and Bad Wolves. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be freaking awesome. So, yes, Disturbed will be the first one that I'll go to. I may be at the Funky Biscuit on July 17th to see a little Pat Travers, snorting whiskey, drinking cocaine. Going to drive that girl insane. That will be one. Friday the 23rd, I want to go see Igwe Malmsteen at the Culture Room. See a little Flying Through the Fret action. August 1st, the Interrupters, Weezer, Fall Out Boy, and Green Day at Hard Rock Stadium. Those are some of my concerts that I have coming up. I want to go August 18th to Alanis Morissette and Garbage. I want to see that. I love Alanis. And then August 30th, I can't wait. We're going to go up to Orlando to go see Primus and Wolfmother. Love it! Seen Primus a couple times. I saw Primus at Red Rocks. But I love Wolfmother. And I have all of their CDs. But I've never seen Wolfmother in concert. They're not even coming here. So I can't wait for that one. So those are some of the shows that I have coming up, Mikey. Oh, unfortunately, I don't think this Marlins ownership group has the money to keep our premier talent when it comes to pay them. It's going to be the same BS as before. Well, Troy, if it is, then baseball will never progress here. That's what's going to end up happening. You know? Baseball will never get there, unfortunately. Big O, with Miami being such a big, busy city, why do you think Miami sports suck so damn bad? Fins are definitely headed in the right direction. Thank God for Miami Heat keeping this city afloat. I think the Panthers are also, I think the Panthers are headed in the right direction, my brother. I really do. I know the first round exit leaves a sour taste in your mouth, but dude, look at Tampa Bay. Aren't they on the brink of eliminating tonight? Isn't it Game 6? Yeah, they're up 3-2 on the Islanders. Sorry, Mike No-Go Zones. I know you're watching. You're an Islanders fan. But my point is, the Panthers got eliminated by the best team in the league. And Tampa Bay is making its way back to the Cup Finals again, and they could win it again. So it's kind of a bad break, but they had a hell of a year. So I'm with you. I think I'm convinced the Dolphins are headed in the right direction, but I'm also convinced the Panthers are headed in the right direction now. Now, I don't know about a Stanley Cup because the salary from Bob, if you are going to go tonight, if you're going to the young kid, then the salary for Bob as your backup is going to hinder what you can do as a franchise. Because if you cannot get rid of that salary, because you've got to turn that salary into another player, and you can't. And so you're going to have $10 million sitting on the bench night in and night out because the young kid is going to be between the pipes. That's going to suck. That's the only thing that I think keeps the Panthers from actually achieving the ultimate goal of winning the Stanley Cup. They could make it to the playoffs again, but what's going to hinder them is that there's $10 million that they can't use to better their team because its ass is sitting on the bench. Sucks. Really sucks. Nice. I may need to check out Disturbed. Oh, dude, if Mike, if you've never seen Disturbed in concert, go. I saw them for the first time out on the West Coast over at the Hertz Arena. And it was, I want to say it was Disturbed. It was New Year's Day and Hailstorm. I think it was New Year's Day opened up, then Hailstorm, then Disturbed. I think that's how it went. I think that's what I saw. Anyway, it was a hell of a concert. And let me tell you, anytime I got a chance to go over to that Hertz Arena and the West Coast to see a concert, I'll do it. It's not a bad drive. Just a little under 2 hours maybe. And it's a cool little arena. And if you're on the floor standing, the way they set it up, because it's not a huge arena. It's one of those mid-sized type arenas. I tell you, there isn't a bad seat in the house or a bad angle for concerts there. I like that place. Mike says, haha, thanks for the shout out to my Islanders. I will be watching tonight with a drink in one hand and a cigar in the other. There you go. That's the way to watch a game, my brother. That's the way to watch it. I like it. Don't forget, you can reach out to us on YouTube there. If you got a comment, a question, an insult, even a compliment, don't forget to smash the hell out of that like button. That is so important for our show. It's really the most important thing that you can do. You can reach out to us on a super chat. And, of course, that's a great way of supporting the show. And on Twitter, I've got the Twitter page up. So if you've got a specific question and you're not on the YouTube chat board, but you're checking us out on Twitter, you can also send it in at Big O Show there on Twitter, and we will answer your question here on the air, which is always a beautiful thing. All right, what else do we have going on in the world of sports? Last night, Suns took a 2-0 lead on the Clippers. And I got to tell you something. When you look at the Suns' accomplishments this year, it's impressive, man. Think about how young they are, the job James Jones has done as a GM. Because, look, Jay Crowder last year, he was terrific for Miami. Down the stretch, he kind of he pissed me off with he kept shooting threes and couldn't hit them. because he went on a streak that was amazing for his career, that he had never shot the ball that way. And then he kept shooting when he kept missing down the stretch, and including in those finals that he was terrible shooting from three-point range. He was hurting the team in that sense. That was the only thing that I would take away from him. If you brought him back, I'd say, shoot the three or less. But he has made big threes for the Suns. He's made some big passes, obviously. And last night, probably the biggest pass in the alley-oop to Ayton. And Ayton, again, athletically, none of the guys for the for the Clippers are going to hang with him. And so he was able to out-jump those cats and dunk the ball. And I got to tell you, I was just as confused as most of you out there on, well, wait a minute, isn't that goaltending? But no, the whole live ball thing or whatever, I don't know. So it's weird, right? But it was a great play. They end up winning. Paul George misses the 2 free throws, which obviously now that becomes an incredible stain on his career. The only way Paul George now gets to live down those 2 missed free throws, you know what he has to do, right? He has to win the series. He has to win the series. It's the only way, because however they lose this series, if it's like the Suns fan says, Suns in 4, or in 5, or in 6, or in 7, everybody's going to go back to game 2 and they're going to say, Paul George could have hit 2 free throws, put him up by 3. I mean, all the things that happened last night. Devin Jordan bust up his nose like Rocky. I mean, that thing just inflated to hell. It's like, wow, dude, that nose got big on him. Wow. If he develops a cocaine issue over the next day or 2, he's going to die, because those nostrils can take in a lot of cocaine at this point. So, Devin, stay clean. I'm joking. I'm just having fun with it. But, man, that thing expanded. Holy moly. And the kid stayed in the game. He's playing. I told you this, the other day. I don't know if it was yesterday or Monday. I'm so impressed with the way he has matured. Okay? Because he was really, and I thought he would only be a scorer. Okay? And early on, he was a volume scorer. Then it wasn't a high percentage. He was shooting a lot of basketballs. And it was a really bad team in his first couple of years. So they needed him to shoot to even have a chance to even make anything competitive. But the kid has just become a complete player. And the leadership and the toughness and the fearlessness of everything about his game, you got to love that kid, man. You got to respect the hell out of Devin Booker, man. It's impressive how he's developed throughout all of this. I mean, everything about the Suns is incredibly impressive. And think about this. They sucked along the way in order to get their picks. They didn't necessarily tank. They didn't try to lose like the Sixers did. And it's funny how karma works sometimes in all of this. You end up with good picks because you had bad seasons. And listen, it was a poorly run organization for a long, long time until they hired James Jones. Finally, Sarver did something right. And it just, with Sarver there, it didn't look like the Suns had a lot of hope. And these are the few moments where you have a terrible owner, yet you're able to overcome having a terrible owner. I mean, it's kind of like Jeffrey Loria, a terrible owner, and the Marlins somehow or another in 2003 won it all because Dombrowski left them 90% of the team from his trades. So they only had to find a couple of pieces to finish it all off. And James Jones had to find a couple of pieces to help finish everything off, and he has finished it off beautifully. They're playing with confidence. They're playing together. They believe in each other. They defend. They're athletic. They can score. They can shoot. I mean, the Cameron Payne kid was it 29 points last night? 29 points and 9 assists yesterday. I mean, Ayton had 14 rebounds to go along with the 24 points. I'll say this. Ayton, for a young guy, man, he looks old. He has that, and he has a classic like 70s, early 80s type of basketball player look. The way he has his beard and all that, it just his facial features and the way his beard is structured. He looks like I can plug him into the 70s, and he would look just. All I got to do is let the fro out a little bit more, and he'd be just perfect, man. Because he reminds me of an older player in the 70s. But anyway, Ayton played his ass off. He is also, by the way, developed too nicely, and they've done just a really good job of drafting really good young players, then signing the right veterans to add to the mix. And then here's the other thing. CP3's been on the bench. Wow. Okay, this is the kind of leadership, toughness, mental toughness that this team is showing without CP3. And I'm still going to give CP3 a lot of credit because I believe they're this mentally tough because of CP3. Because he's the hard ass. Always has been. Always will be the hard ass. He's the guy. Look, there are those people out there that might be a little tougher to get along with, but they're usually tougher to get along with because they get on your ass because you're not doing your job. That's CP3. You're going to get along great with CP3. Just do your job. That's all. But if he sees that you're slacking off and you're not trying, he's going to get on your ass. And he doesn't care if you're another star on the team or you're the 12th man. Doesn't matter to that guy. And he's always been that guy. You got to work around him. If you're not working, he's going to tell you why you're not working. And Jimmy Butler has a lot of that in him. Too bad he couldn't reach Tyler Hero, but, I mean, it is what it is. What are you going to do? But impressive, man. You got to love what the Suns are doing and the way things have shaped out for them. It's been impressive. Nice job by them. And so easy to – that's the other thing, too, about the Suns. They're easy to root for. I can't root for the Clippers. You know what I mean? And I got to tell you, it's the Paul George factor why I can't root for the Clippers. Don't know why, but there's something about Paul George that just rubs me the wrong way. And when he misses the free throws, there's a part of me, it's like, karma for the things that happen in Indy and, and everything else that's gone on in his career. He's just one of those guys that just doesn't do anything for me. But again, impressive stuff by the Suns to get that one yesterday. I wonder if they're, I haven't seen anything yet on DeMarcus Cousins because he pushed Booker at the end of that game when the game was over and they were on the court. I wonder if they're going to do something to Cousins. Does he get fined or suspended or anything like that? But not surprised, right? That DeMarcus Cousins would do something like that. Thursday, tomorrow, 9 o'clock, will be Game 3, which obviously it's a must-win for the Clippers. If they don't win, they've got no shot at winning this series. And for Paul George, man, it is stacked against you, my brother. You better win this series, because if not, it's all gonna end right there at your feet. And everything you guys did in the last round to get through without Kawhi will go by the wayside. What will be remembered is that you choked out those 2 missed free throws. How do you miss those free throws, man? You when you're that kind of player, you cannot miss those free throws. You can't. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, would you like the Heat to try to get Simmons? No, not really. No, not at all. And I think we Daniel, well, we have to come to the realization for the Miami Heat that they have nothing to trade. I mean, that's just a reality. They have nothing to trade. They don't have. What are you going to? You're not going to trade Bam, and you're not trading Jimmy. So then after that is what? Tyler Hero? Duncan Robinson you can trade, but at this point, if you're the Miami Heat, I got to tell you something. You have to keep Duncan. Their shooting is so valuable in this league nowadays. You can't have enough shooters, and if you have, it goes back to the Jakeem Grant conversation we had yesterday. That some of you casually just have cutting Jakeem Grant, and so you're just going to cut one of the 3 or 5 best returners in the NFL. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. That's field position, dude. I'm not doing that. This game is won on field position. So there's no way I'm doing that. And Duncan Robinson, whether you think he's not worth it or not worth it for $20 million, if that's what he's going to get, 18, 20 million or whatever, and maybe you think he's worth 15, but in this league, shooting is so valuable, they have no choice. They have to give him the 18, 20 million dollars a year. They have to give it to him. And if it's 22, then you give it to him. Too bad. You don't have anything better at this point in time. And you don't have anything else you can count on, because you cannot count on Tyler. Because he's a young guy. And he had his success, and then he had a mediocre season this year. He didn't improve. So you don't know if his head is up his ass or up his IG model's ass or whatever, and is he going to get his head out of his ass or out of her ass? We have no idea. We don't really know Tyler well. And clearly Tyler couldn't handle success because he didn't know how to compartmentalize the success and his responsibilities to go out there and improve. So that's the thing that Heat fans, the Heat zombies, okay, have got to get to a point to the realistic part of all of this. The Heat have no draft picks, and they barely have anything that people want on their roster. So if you're just going to give them a bunch of players just to give them a bunch of players to reach the salary, the team that's trading Simmons is going to want something that's tangible. And they probably want you to sign Duncan and then trade him. So then they get Duncan instead. And then you end up with Simmons, who can't shoot and has no confidence. And again, here's the other thing with Simmons. He's been in the league a few years now. And he's failed to develop a shot. Now they say that he doesn't work hard. Is that what you want? Does that fly here with the Miami Heat? A guy that doesn't work hard? And he clearly doesn't work on his shot. Because if you worked on your shot, you would have confidence. Some kind of confidence. But when you look like you are completely wussified out there, and you're afraid to go to the hole because you don't want to, you don't even want to go in for a dunk because you can't hit a free throw because you have no balls. And let's just call it like we see it. Simmons has no balls. Somebody with courage and balls, they learn how to shoot. They find a way to score. They get creative, and that kid doesn't. He's happy playing defense, and he's happy facilitating. He doesn't care about scoring and doesn't make an effort to become a better scorer. I mean, that's obvious. You can't lack that kind of confidence and tell me you're working on your game. They don't jive. I'm sorry. Even Markelle Fultz, who had the yips, as they say, he didn't stop shooting. He didn't stop going to the rim. He's still trying. So that shows me way more courage than Simmons ever has shown me. I don't want Simmons at all. He's not a Heat player. And worse than that, the bigger indictment is he's not good for this league anymore. If you can't score, you're pretty much useless in this NBA. You have to be Rudy Gobert. Okay, yeah, you'll get, your garbage points and some free throws and because you're not an outside shooter, so everything will be in the paint for your points. But at least he'll work the paint. And defensively, he's obviously a juggernaut for all of that. So no, I don't want Simmons at all here for the Miami Heat. Plus, Miami has nothing to trade to pick up anybody. That's the reality that we've got to settle. They're going to have to probably settle for bringing back Oladipo on some kind of, cheap deal, $5 million, $7 million deal or whatever, and say, hey, listen, man, if you can prove to us this year that you can stay healthy, then we'll give you. I don't think they have what it takes to acquire a star. They don't have the cap space, and right now they're not desirable. That's the reality. I'm sorry. I love the Heat. I'll root for them. I'll watch every game, but I do this objectively, and the Heat are not a sexy destination right now for somebody that is looking to win a title, because the Heat are light years away right now at this point in time. That's why I would not extend Jimmy. I would get through this contract for the next 2 years with Jimmy, and I would try to get as liquid as possible as soon as possible. Why? You have no picks already as it is for many years to come now. So get cap space at least. That way, maybe you got a shot at bringing somebody in. Let's see. DeAndre, he was on his way to being labeled a number 1 overall pick bust. Suns picked him over Luka Doncic. At the time, he has made huge strides under the tutelage of CP3. So proud of that young man. Yes, he has. He has. And listen, sometimes some of these young kids, Lisa, they need, and this is everything in life. It could be your son, could be your daughter. It could be, just a kid that you befriended, that you're a boss and he's one of your employees. Sometimes some of these young kids, they need to be taught how to work, how to be a professional, what dedication it takes to be a professional. These are things that young people sometimes, I'm not telling you all of them, but sometimes they don't understand. And you got to teach them. And CP3 is the kind of guy that's going to teach them those lessons. And kudos to the kid that he was willing to learn those lessons and take the advice of CP3, and he's become a hell of a player. Do you think the Miami Heat coaches can fix Ben Simmons' shooting issues? I don't. It's mentally, man. I wouldn't want to try it. You're going to give up stuff for a project. And what if you have to trade one of your few good assets, and then you're hoping to turn him into an asset? Remember, Jimmy Butler can't shoot either. So now all of a sudden, you've got Simmons and Butler, 2 guys you don't want shooting at the end of games. I mean, we're talking about Ben Simmons getting from the point that he can't shoot and has no confidence to we're gonna turn him around to the extreme that he has confidence and will be able to shoot. And not only that, he'll be confident enough to do it in key moments at the end of a fourth quarter. That's a large leap right now from the guy that I see shriveled up into a corner. Because that's what I see from. I give him credit for doing the press conference after the game and answering the questions and all of that, but not a kid that I see confidence. So no, I wouldn't want to try it. It's frustrating enough already as it is watching this Heat team. It's even more frustrating to watch this Heat team with Ben Simmons. Because I think the only way you can get by with Ben Simmons is if you have 4 shooters on the floor. I mean, and I'm talking about 4 shooters. Like 4 Duncan Robinsons. 4 guys that can just shoot lights out. That might be the only way you can survive with that guy. And And in a close game at the end with a minute or two left, you have to take them off the court because if they want to play, you know, a hack-a-shack and all those kind of things, and whatever we want to call it with, you know, what is it, Batter Ben, Butcher Ben, or whatever, and put them at the line, you're done because you can't hit it. I don't know. I wouldn't want to try making a move for Ben Simmons. Big O, the Heat do have the cap space per Ethan. Yeah, they have some cap space once they cut certain players, but they're not attractive. They don't have any pieces right now. And who are you going to attract straight up like a free agent? That's the other thing. It has to be via trade. It has to. The only way Miami gets a star is if there's a disgruntled one out there that has to get out of his, you know, current city, and the only way he can get out is because he's under contract. They trade him to Miami, and because he's so disgruntled and the situation's so bad that the value is way down, and Miami doesn't have to give up much because they don't have much. So who's that? Who's the guy? Because let's stop with, you know, what's it called? The Washington kid. I'm forgetting his damn name, but whether it's him or Kawhi, it gets to a point where Bradley Beal. It gets to a point where we're just ridiculous. Bradley Beal's not coming here, and neither is Kawhi. And at this point, why would even Kawhi come here? The Clippers are way better. Again, it's the Heat zombie thing. You know what I mean? And it's nice that, yeah, you can release Dragon and you can release, you know, a certain couple of other guys and you can free up the money, but who wants to come here? Who's available straight up in free agency? That's the Heat zombie thing now. Okay? And then that's what will go on. And places like 5 Reasons and others, they'll start writing about the possibilities and all of that. I don't sit here with that crap, dude. And I get it. I get it. I'm going to be hated by some in the Heat Nation because I'm not giving them a chance, because I don't think that they're getting anywhere with it, just like I didn't think they were getting anywhere with this team. I didn't think they were getting anywhere last year either. And they had the flukish run. And they proved that last year was a complete fluke by what happened this year. Total fluke. I was wrong last year. I was 100% accurate this year. And for me, I don't think the Heat are doing anything whatsoever. I don't think the Heat have a chance in hell at getting a real stud to take that money and come here. That's all. They may have to take a chance on I don't know if there's a star that is questionable character. Maybe if there's one like that available, but then again, you're acquiring a questionable character. Jimmy Butler wanted to get away from Ben Simmons. Why the hell would they welcome him to Miami? Yeah, he just doesn't fit what goes on in the NBA at this point in time. Freddie Fred, a.k.a. Bebe. They need a true center and point guard. Well, they don't exist anymore, true centers. So you're talking about a stretch 5 is what you're talking about now. I would actually make Bam Adebayo more of a center. That's where you and I differ. I think they have the center, and his name is Bam Adebayo. And I think Bam has to start playing more center. I really do. And I think Bam has to start working on that outside shot a lot more. And he's got to work on dropping the cojones in a game on a nightly basis. He has to become what we used to see from Alonzo Mourning every single night. He has to be driven mad to go out there and score a lot and help his team and be driven to do whatever it takes to win. And he'll do it with everything except scoring. He'll play defense like you got to win every night. He'll cover a guy like you have to win every single night. He'll run around like a chicken with his head cut off every single night, but he does not score with the mentality that you've got to win every single night. And that's the next stage for Bam. But I would have Bam playing a lot of center. Bam would need to add more weight to play center. No, not in this league. I'm not sure what league you're watching anymore, Daniel. This is not the league with Pat Ewing and David Robinson and, all those Moses Malone and Robert Parrish. And this isn't that league anymore. Centers aren't that big anymore. So Bam can easily play center in this thing. Come on, man. Dennis Rodman at 6'8" would defend centers back in the day when we had redwood trees as centers. So please, Bam can play center in today's NBA easily. I don't think that's an issue. Pipe Man Slim says, Big O, I listen to you anyway, even if it sounds like a drive-in speaker. Are we going to see Bam and Precious playing together? Unless they improve their offense, then you can't put two so-so scorers out there, and you can't put two guys that can't shoot from the outside out there. They have to be able. One of them has to be able to stretch and do it well. Okay, and that's the only way you see those two, because then you can put Precious at center and have Bam play the 4. But that means Bam is shooting lights out. But he needs to get to that point. He's not there yet. Don't forget, you can reach out to us on the YouTube channel and on Super Chat. Let's do this. Give me 1 minuto, and we will be right back here on the show. All right, we are back. Thank you for showing us a little patience. I had to drink a little water, take a short break here on the program. Bunch of things to talk about. Hey, remember yesterday we were talking about Nassib, and I told you that we've made a lot of progress in this country compared to the Michael Sam time just 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whenever it was, that it kind of became a circus throughout all of this, and how, 20 and 30 and 40 years ago, things like this would not be accepted, even tried, or anything like that. More proof came out that we've changed as a society, and we're in the process. No matter how much hate you see out there, and we see hate, we see racism, there's no doubt, but those people are loud, but they're not the majority. They are the minority, okay? There's no doubt in my mind that they're the minority. And I think the majority of people are becoming more and more accepting of everybody and anybody. And whatever you are, whether you're wearing a nose piercing, which, nose piercing 15, 20, 40 years ago, you'd be looked at like a freak. You know what I mean? Nowadays, you see kids walking around with nose piercings, and it's normal. Right? It's just, it's the way it is nowadays. Long hair. You listen to the song Turn the Page from Bob Seger. And in that song, it's always the same old cliches. Is it a woman or is it a man? Because when you had long hair, that's, when I was a kid and you got long hair, your Latin parents would say, what are you, a girl? Right? Because your uncle, your grandfather, all those things. What are you, a girl with that long hair? They would tell you straight up like that. In a completely different fashion, by the way. But my point is that we have gone from, straight up super tight-ass conservative from 150 years ago to where we're at now. And we are less judging of people's color, nationality, sexuality, all of those kind of things. We are evolving as a society. And over the last 48 hours, the number one jersey sale in the NFL is Carl Nassib. That's pretty cool, because that's not something that would have happened 10 years ago. There's no way you would have saw it 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Are you kidding me? Carl Nassib would have never even had the balls to come out 20 years ago and 30 years ago and 40 years ago. You know, you give Michael Sam credit, but he was a fringe player. Now, Carl is a very good defensive end. I know the next step is a superstar. You know what I'm saying? But this makes a lot of progress here. This allows others to come clean. And you know what? Come clean. It sounds dirty. Sounds like they were doing something wrong and now they admit it. Open up, okay? This will open the door for others to open up at all levels. High school and college and the NFL, and that's it. So just people are looking at each other as football players and basketball players and baseball players, and he's not a gay wrestler. He's not a gay basketball player. He's not a gay football player. He's an athlete. And that's pretty cool to see that his jersey sales number one and people buying it in support of Carl Nassib. I thought, again, I think that these are the things that go under the radar and people don't pay attention to it because, hey, we have voted in women in all kinds of positions, all the way now to vice president. Okay? And then we've even voted a black woman as a vice president. We voted a black man as president. We have voted all throughout the country gay councilmen and gay, councilwomen if you want to call it also, but senators and governors. So don't tell me we haven't progressed. Don't tell me that our society isn't more accepting. Damn right it is. We have made a lot of progress. I'm not going to allow the people that spew hate and live by those dirty standards to then sully what we are doing as a society, because we are growing. And there are examples everywhere, man. If we allow ourselves to, actually watch us grow and learn from those examples that we are growing, and don't listen to the people that will never grow, and that they're closed-minded, and that they're biased towards Asians or biased towards whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was really cool to see that story about Nassib being the number one jersey sale in the NFL the last couple of days. I thought that was really, really cool. The other thing I saw, Dave Hyde. Dave Hyde had a column in the Herald about Tua and how he hopes that they don't baby Tua like the 76ers have with Simmons. And I got to tell you something. I normally agree a lot with Dave Hyde, and he's my favorite columnist in town. But I could not have disagreed more with that article. Because I don't think anybody's babying Tua. I really don't. I mean, the man had hip surgery in late November, and they were willing to put him on the field by early October. Or was it even late September when he first played? I don't know what it was, but it was right around there. So you're talking about a guy that's 11 months removed from or 10 from a career-threatening hip injury, and they were willing to play him against the Rams and that front seven. Doesn't sound like babying to me. And I know he kind of used, the examples of the comparisons of Herbert and how some people say, well, Herbert had better weapons. That's not babying. Those are facts. Herbert was in a much better situation, and he wasn't coming back from a hip surgery. Those aren't excuses. Those aren't babying him whatsoever. To me, that's actually calling it like it is. That has nothing to do with babying. And pulling him I know Dave talked about that. Well, pulling him, it's because the coach is trying to win the game. So while he's trying to develop a team, develop a quarterback, he's also trying to win because he doesn't want to lose the locker room. And so he knows if he has a chance to win, the players know that he can go to Fitz. But if he sticks with the rookie and the rookie's not ready and you lose the game, now you start losing some of your players in the locker room. So Flo was handling the locker room, the development of the locker room, the development of the culture, but he wasn't willing to sacrifice wins. And that goes a long way for the players in the locker room and on the field because they're working their asses off to overcome. And whether his article or his column was more about prevention, that, hey, don't fall into the rut that the Sixers did in babying Simmons, I don't think Tua has been babied at all. I really don't. I think Tua has handled everything beautifully, to be honest with you. And I think he has proven himself that he's not the guy that wants to be babied either. He wants to play. He wants to be in those big moments. Unlike Simmons, he wants to make the big throw. He wants to be in the clutch moments. Simmons runs away from those clutch moments. Here's a kid that had what could have been a career-threatening injury, and he did everything to get back to play this past season. Does that sound like somebody that's being babied? Does that sound like somebody that babies himself? I don't think so. So to me, that was, the column there by Hyde, I thought was a little extreme for the comparisons of Simmons and Tua, when the only thing I've seen from Tua is toughness. The only thing I've seen from Tua is balls, that the guy wants to be in that moment, wants to be the guy. But he's also a team player. He's not going to fight the coach and disagree with the coach that if he's not playing well, that he doesn't want to come out of the game or anything like that. He understood all of that. And you got to love the professionalism that Tua shows in this process. So I saw Hyde's article today, and the headline says, "Don't pamper Tua like 76ers babied Ben Simmons to failure." I just don't see that. And Flo, does Flo look like the kind of guy that's going to baby anybody? I don't think Flo wants any kind of player that has that kind of attitude on his team. I just don't. I mean, Minka didn't even want to follow the rules and do things the way they needed to, and they shipped his ass out. So I just, Flo doesn't look to me like the kind of guy that's going to baby. He looks as old school as it gets. And, by the way, Tua played for Nick Saban. Does that sound like a guy that's going to baby you? Nick Saban doesn't baby anybody. I thought it was, I get it. It's the off season. You got to come up with things to write. And so, hey, let me do this comparison, Let's see. Herbert lost more games than Tua. Yeah. No, Tua played in actually bigger games than him. Chef Sparky Vasquez says, "What is happening with Miami FC? Why are they so bad?" Are you talking about Inter Miami CF? Not Miami FC. You're talking about Inter Miami CF, I would imagine. Okay? Inter Miami CF is, unfortunately, Paul McDonough, the original GM, made some devastating mistakes that have set this team back. Robbie Robinson, who still has a chance to be a good player. I am not giving up on Robbie Robinson, but he's not Daryl DK. He's not. And so 2 years ago in the Super Draft, you had the number one pick. and Orlando was at number 5. Okay? And you passed up Daryl Dike. And so did the expansion Nashville SC also, who were number 2. And he fell to 5. So 4 teams made an incredibly stupid mistake by drafting whoever they drafted and did not take best player in the draft in Daryl Dike, who dominated and then went to Barnsley over in England and had 9 goals in 19 games. So this kid's a player. That sets you back. Then you did the foo move of having 5 DPs when only 3 are required, or 3 are your limit. So now you end up forcing to get rid of 2 of them, and you've kept 3, and 2 of your 3 don't deserve to be DPs. So you now got fined over $2 million. You now will lose those $2 million in cap space over the next couple of years, which will hurt immensely in this league. You now got to hope for Robbie Robinson to develop, because Daryl Dike is a monster, and you would already would have a star locally if you had DK, and you would be selling a ton of jerseys with all of that. Then you've got Pizarro, who you signed as a DP from Mexico, and you overpaid him, and he's not a DP. And now he's injured. And that's a problem, because you're probably going to have to let him go at the end of the year and eat that salary to go get another player. And I don't know how this works, if they can or cannot. And then Matuidi, who's a defensive midfielder, and you do not sign a defensive midfielder as a DP. Your DPs have got to be a forward scoring goals, or a offensive-minded midfielder that's dominant with the ball, that can set people up and can score on his own. That's what you make a DP. Or unless your team is so loaded that you need a goalie and you go out and get yourself one hell of a goalie to kind of finish off your team, then I can understand that. So they made several mistakes, and they're stuck with 2 players on the DP level that don't belong in the DP. Matuidi is an 11th man, is what he is. He's not a DP. Pizarro, not a DP. Higuain is fine. The problem with Higuain is he has no midfielder to set him up. So Paul McDonough made a ton of mistakes. The team, unfortunately, did not settle on a coach till late in the offseason last year. So the GM was already building a team without a coach. Then the coach got there and wanted to get rid of some of the players because it didn't fit what he does. And it's just been a disaster. And so a lot of those problems have rolled over into this season. And Phil Neville is trying to overcome all those problems, and I don't think he can. He can only do so much. And until they're able to make the changes, I don't know when they're going to be good. It's going to be a couple of years. It'll be interesting to see what happens this offseason. Again, I don't know the rules, but if they can outright cut Pizarro and go and get another DP, knowing George, he'll spend. He'll go out and get a guy. I mean, Jorge Mas is going to spend. He'll eventually get this right and fix it and all that, but it might take a couple of years now. And that sucks, because your first 4 years in the league, you're going to be pretty mediocre. Because I don't know how much you improve over the next 2 seasons with the limitations that they have at this point in time. So they better be great at drafting and developing players. That's where they better step up in a big-time way in the next 2 years. They better find some young guys. So there you go. That's your reason why Inter Miami is not a good team at this point in time. Okay? All right. Doug E. Fresh. Thank you, Doug E. Fresh. Appreciate you, my brother, as he comes in with a little super chat. And on the super chat, he puts, what makes a comeback first and last? the bell cow running back, 2 centers who look like Lurch camping out in the paint, 3 parachute pants, yeah, baby, 4 baseball, 5 high line, 6 Foghat releases a new album. Holy crap. Foghat without a lead singer and their guitarist. They're 2 top people. Out. But thank you for the super chat.
Super chat.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way.
They were fantastic.
Super chat.
Thank you, Dougie Fresh. Appreciate you giving us some love here on the super chat. Thank you, my brother. George says, right on, Big O. Tua was a star for the same Nick Saban that made rookie Manny Wright cry during a practice down here. Yep, I'm with you, man. I get what Hyde was trying to say, but I don't think Tua's the example for it. Tua, he has that Polynesian upbringing. I haven't met anybody that's a Polynesian that is soft. Those people are rock hard, man. They're hard-working people. They're family-oriented people. Usually when whether they're good enough or not, that's for any football player that comes to the league. But I've always gotten the impression that they're hard workers and they're super dedicated. So I'm with you. I just thought it was a little bit of a reach for Tua to be compared to Simmons in any way, shape, and form. Let's see, what else do we have here? Alexa V is in the house. The president is in. She says, hello, my party people. Hello, Alexa. Man of 1,005 holds there. Herman Cueva. Do the Heat baby Hero? No, they don't do that either in Miami. The Heat don't baby anybody either. It's up to Hero, to mature on his own. That's what it is. It's not the Heat babying Beasley. It's Beasley that's immature. You know what I mean? It's Gerald Green getting high on something in a hotel room down in Miami. They don't baby people. It's either they have it or they don't, and when you acquire them, you find out. So yeah, I definitely don't think it would be any babying of Hero. It's up to Hero to grow up on his own. We'll see if he's able to do that. Don't forget, you can reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Got the Twitter page up. If you got a question, send it in on Twitter. We will answer it there on Twitter because we got people watching on Twitter and on, on YouTube and LinkedIn, I think, is the other one where people can also check us out. Appreciate all of you out there for keeping it locked here. Tonight, Hawks and Bucks, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, 8:30 tip for that. Canadians defeat the Golden Knights last night, 4-1. Montreal now leads 3-2. Tonight, Lightning and Islanders on the NBC Sports Network. Tampa Bay coming off, that 8-0 win, I think it was 2 nights ago. I think it was 8-0, right? Was it? Yes, it was 8-0 win over the Islanders. They go for the series win here to advance to the NHL Finals for the Stanley Cup. Tampa leads 3-2 here with a win. Obviously, they win the series. For Montreal, this is a must-win. For the New York Islanders, this is a must-win situation for the Islanders as Tampa leads 3-2. So we got that going on. Speaking of Inter, that you brought it up, Pizarro, by the way, still dealing with the hip injury. He did return to partial practice. Higuain returned to partial practice for the first time in 4 weeks. He was kind of limited, did a little bit of team, did a little solo. Robbie Robinson is still weeks away from returning, according to the coach. He just started light running now. That's the other thing that they did. They completely mishandled the Robbie Robinson injury. That was absolutely terrible the way they mishandled that one, because Robbie was clearly injured. And if you know anything about hamstrings are a thing that you better actually take care of, your hamstring before you get them back on the court or on the pitch or the court or the ice or whatever it is, because if you don't, that's the kind of injury that lingers all season long. And so now they've got to get Robbie 100% right, and they've got to make sure that he can run, he can cut. The other day, Byron Buxton returned. I know he just fractured his hand again, but he was coming back also from a leg injury, and they wanted to see him accelerate and decelerate and stop and start again. And they felt like until he can do that on a consistent basis, then we know that he is completely healthy and we can get him back on the field. And they eventually did. And I think that's what they're going to have to do with Robbie. They need to really work him out. Not now, but down the line after he's been, in the process of stretching out that hamstring and hopefully not hurting it anymore, that he can cut, he can run on all out, stop, turn, twist, cut one direction, the other. They've got to make sure that hamstring is not lingering whatsoever before you put him out on the pitch, because they have screwed up enough already with Robbie. And think about it. Last season was a wash for him as it is. Now this season's becoming another wash for him. And this is his second year. You need this kid to develop. He's got to play games. He's got to really develop, and unfortunately they don't. For me, Big O, Inter needs a head coach like Bruce Arena, a guy that knows the system down here. Herman, right now, I'm not going to lay any of the blame on Neville. Okay? I'm going to give Neville the opportunity. I know he doesn't have the team. Look, last Saturday, I disagreed with him on his substitution. I will say that. I thought he should have brought in Higuain and Jovan Jones right at the beginning of the second half, and he waited till 85th minute or something like that. He waited till way late in the game to bring those guys in, and I thought that I completely disagreed with that. But every coach I watch, I'm going to find something I disagree with. It doesn't matter who it is. No coach is perfect. Not that I'm going to be perfect or anything like that, but any of us, if we watch every coach out there, there's going to be something we disagree with. I can't say that I've disagreed a ton with Phil Neville. I think it would be a little unfair. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and see what he can do with these guys on a long-term basis. I'm not ready to just a couple games and then I'm done with the guy, especially with the team so broken. And that's the other thing with Inter Miami. It's just a broken team right now, man. It's just not a good football team. They've got to get their stuff together. And I don't think they will this season. I don't know how they do it. And when the summer now rolls around, and I'm talking about the dead of summer, although I got to say the last couple of days you go out there and it is hot, man. Holy crap, it's hot. Man. Alexa says, I also have my own Alexa. Ah, okay. It's hard to trust those things, Alexa. Be careful. This has got to be fun when you have people over. Oh, Alexa, I got you. Alexa, okay. All right, I have a frame that says, Alexa, do the dishes. That's pretty good. I like that. Good stuff. All right. Don't forget you can reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show. You can reach out to us here on the YouTube channel, on the Super Chat, as always. That's another way. GP Trap says, not sure if you mentioned, was pulled away for a short meeting, but Aaron Ekblad is skating again. He was working out in Coral Springs Ice Center yesterday. No, I did not mention that. Did not mention about Ekblad. That's good, man. They need him for next season to get back and get that team back on track. Mike says, it's so damn hot, I saw 2 trees fighting over a dog. Pee on me, no pee on me, no pee on me. I got you. Andres Sandoval says, Big O, who do you think will be in Copa America final besides Brazil? I have no idea, bro. I have no idea. U.S. Alexa says, how are you doing? Oh, I am doing good, Alexa. Thank you very much. Okay, very much. I appreciate it. We're doing good, hanging in there, enjoying a beautiful Wednesday. That's what it's all about. What else do we have going on here on the show? Let's see. And don't forget, folks, to smash that like button, too. We need you to smash that like button in a big-time way. Detroit wins the lottery yesterday, so I guess the Cade Cunningham kid is the number 1 pick. Is that what they say? Houston's number 2, Cavs number 3. The Heat, by the way, had the 18th pick. OKC now owns that pick because, Miami doesn't have a first-round pick for the next 47 years. So it's going to be tough sledding for them. I saw Manny Diaz had a youth camp in my hometown, Belgrade. I was born, for those of you that don't know, I was born in the northwest corner of West Palm Beach, Florida, and that's in Belgrade. And obviously, right under the lake there, Belgrade, and that triangle area, there's so much talent that comes from that area. So Manny Diaz, very smart, doing a football camp there. The kids are, I think, between 3 and 14 years old, I was reading. And so very smart of them to do the camp out in Belgrade and plant those seeds, man, because a lot of talent comes out of there. I wanted to talk about a story I saw where Scottie Pippen was talking about Kevin Durant, and he was critical of Durant. And I'm going to read you the quote. And I thought, Scottie was out of line. I got to be honest with you. When I read this, I was like, Scottie, I got to tell you, I think that's way too harsh when it's all said and done. So Pippen was talking about Durant, and he was talking to Vincent Goodwill from Yahoo, and he was promoting his bourbon. So Pippen complimented Durant on the former MVP's game, but said he falls short of surpassing LeBron James. He said surpassing LeBron James takes a little bit more than an individual effort, Pippen said. LeBron James is a complete player who understands team and winning. Has Durant gotten to that level yet? He went home in the playoffs, and I think he still has some learning to do in what terms it takes for a team to win. And I got to tell you something. And Pippen is not the guy to be criticizing people about team player and all of that. This is the guy that in a huddle, when Phil Jackson didn't call his number and called for Tony Kukoc instead, which, by the way, okay, I'm not the biggest Phil Jackson defender in the world here, but I'm going to defend Phil Jackson here because when he called that play, he called the right play for the right player, because Kukoc was better suited for that play that he called than Pippen. But how did Pippen react to that? He acted like a petulant little child, and everybody broke the huddle, and he chose not to go on the court. So the last person that is allowed to talk about what it takes to be a team player and win as a team is Scottie Pippen. Okay? I'm not going to pick on the migraine thing, because he didn't play because of a migraine. Migraines are brutal, dude. Plenty of players don't play because of migraines. I'm not going to get crazy on that one. But I am going to go off on him for that moment, because that will be a stain on his career for the rest of his life. Whether he likes it or not, whether he accepts it or he doesn't, I don't give a rat's ass. But there's no doubt in my mind that that's going to be a stain on the rest of his career. And Kevin Durant's already won a couple of titles. And he was the MVP. He was the best player on the court. He defends like a team player. He assists like a team player. He'll have steals like a team player. And he is the most dynamic scorer in the NBA right now. Because the guy can drive to the hole, the guy can rebound and score around the basket. The guy can shoot from any distance what you want, 10, 12 feet, 22 feet, 28 feet. He's an offensive juggernaut. He's a hell of a defensive player. He sets his team up. He's not LeBron James because they're two different players. One's a point forward, whatever the hell you want to call LeBron, but he's a point. Durant's not a point. So he doesn't have to learn how to play the game like LeBron James because he's supposed to have somebody on the court that's handling the ball and setting him up. So one, it's a bad comparison because they're two different types of players, LeBron and Durant. And then the other thing is when you say in this article that surpassing LeBron takes a little bit more than individual effort, LeBron James is a complete team player who understands team and winning. Durant understands team and winning, dude. He's shown that over and over and over again. He's not the guy that says, hey, I'm the only guy on the court. I'm hogging the ball. Everybody get out of the way and let me score. It's not what he does. He sets people up. That's why I saw that, and then when I saw who was saying it, I said to myself, well, wait a minute, dude, you're the guy that chose to sit out. Because they didn't call your number, because the coach wanted to use somebody else. That to me, it's like you're the last guy. Kevin Durant, by the way, averaged 6 assists a game. So that's pretty damn good when you're averaging 26 points, 6 assists, 6.4 rebounds per game, 0.7 steals, 1.1 blocks per game. It's pretty damn good. Okay? I don't know. You can shoot from 3, you can shoot from 12 feet, you can drive to the basket. He is unstoppable, unguardable. And I think he knows what it takes to be a team player and a team winner. So when I saw that from Scottie Pippen, I kind of cringed. And I said, you're not the right guy to be talking about this. Keep talking about your bourbon, bro. Stick to your liquor. Okay? Stick to your liquor. Ted Lasso, Season 2, will be next month on the 23rd, about a month from now, July 23rd. I can't wait for that, man. That's going to be a lot of fun. See a little Ted Lasso. I don't know if any of you watched Ted Lasso, but that was a good show. That was a good season I saw of Ted Lasso. Alex Caruso gets nailed in a Texas airport for weed. Now, here's the thing, because some people are talking about how, well, it's crazy that people are getting arrested still for weed and this and that. Hey, it's not legal everywhere. So it's legal in California where he came from, but he was in Texas where it's not legal. And so some people are trying to say, well, they should give him a break, dude. It's already getting legal all over the place. I get it. I understand that. Big picture, how about not having a grinder in your bag with weed? Okay, you're an NBA player. You got some money on you, right? If you're going to Texas anyways, you got some buds there. Have the buds get you buds. That's all. Have somebody go get you the flour, the oil, whatever you want. Apparently they found flour on them. You know what I mean? But it's like, why would you risk it on the plane? I don't understand that. Why would you be that stupid? I don't get that one. So to me, Alex Caruso deserves all the blame here. It's not a matter that it's becoming legal. Dude, you know how long it's going to take for it to be legal in Utah? And apparently we lost out our window now. I think they got to get to 1 million signatures or something to get it back on the ballot for 22. But I think they're not going to be able to get it on the ballot if they don't get the 1 million signatures. So it'll go till 24. So it's going to be a couple years till we get it. When is Utah going to do it? Because Utah may not legalize weed till 2050. So you'll have a place that doesn't allow it. So if people are flying there, they got to be careful. If you're Alex Caruso, common sense, dude. Not smoking the sense, common sense. Caruso, let's go, dude. Be smart. You got to know you have weed in your grinder. Throw out the weed again. You're an NBA player. You got a couple of bucks. You don't need the weed. You can throw it away out of your grinder. Keep your grinder. And then when you get to California, it's recreational, baby. Every other corner, they probably have a dispensary. When you get to California, go ahead and buy it legal. Well, you can't wait. You got to spark up the second you land or something? Second you get in the car? Is the addiction that bad? I saw that about Alex Caruso. I was like, damn, dude, come on, man. You should be able to have a little discipline in the process, and you can hold out till you get home. All right, it is that time, ladies and gentlemen, to wrap it up here on the show. By the way, I do appreciate those of you that hung in there early on with us when we were having the technical snafus. Please don't forget before you go, smash that like button. If you're listening to the podcast, please smash that like button. It is extremely important that you smash the like button, and extremely important that you share the program with folks and tell them about the podcast, tell them about the YouTube feed, all of that, and tell them to, of course, hit the like button and subscribe on the podcast, on the YouTube feed. All of those things really help out our algorithms and get the show out to more people as much as possible. So thank you to all out there as always. Thanks to Weapons X United and Dougie Fresh. A little love there on the Super Chat. Appreciate you gentlemen out there for chiming in on the Super Chat. I thank you all out there for tuning in. I will see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a good one.